Uh. World. Cause I'm here to show the world something. If you can hear these visions, then take a long, hard listen through the walls of this prison. I'ma show the world something. In case you haven't seen the signs, they'd rather I not give you peace in the mind. Cause I'm here to show the world something. And that made me a threat. They wage war and that made me a vet. Cause I'm here to show the world something. Lighters up, heads high, your battle scars and the stars in line. Let's make this clear. We don't know why the fuck we here, where we end up when it's done, or why it's something to fear. How it started, who made the call, we know nothing at all. Just instincts, holding on when you sleep and you fall. The ability to share love, the humility to share blood. We have a will to help us change us. We have a reason, our belief in what we can't touch. What we can do to make it useful and enhance us. That's all I got for answers. If you and I were to unite, we cure the fucking cancer. Slay the beast, reign supreme, build a future faster. Pass up every bastard that been looking past us. Hands up, hand us back the culture. We can patch up the holes dug up by the vultures. We can handle the havoc in hell when it's unholstered. Slug to the shell, back in the pistol before it's over. If you can hear these visions, then take a long, hard listen through the walls of this prison. In case you haven't seen the signs, they'd rather I not give you peace in the mind. Cause I'm here to show the world something. And that made me a threat. They wage war and that made me a vet. Cause I'm here to show the world something. Lighters up, heads high, your battle scars and the stars in line. Young Thundercat wanna rap, spit that flow. As long as the gap blow, he can get that dough. He thinking it's all he knows, cause it's all he's told. He has yet to get a taste of what he don't know. What it's like to be alone when your family is gone, cause you putting them all in danger, bringing bullshit home. When your bitch has enough of your shit and she hit the bricks, and your brother from another trying to slip her the dick. When the walls get thick behind bars and brick, cause you stood in front of a judge and watched someone you love. Detailed in the script, telling all of your shit. You realize you're getting buried in the hole that you dug. Most times, things are nothing like you imagine. We tend to see the romantic and never question the damage we cause with these flaws. I'm asking for answers and you just grasping at these straws. If you can hear these visions, then take a long, hard listen through the walls of this prison. In case you haven't seen the signs, they'd rather I not give you peace in the mind. Cause I'm here to show the world something. And that made me a threat. They wage war and that made me a vet. Cause I'm here to show the world something. Lighters up, heads high, your battle scars and the stars in line. Change something, show the whole world you can make something. Create something, we got nothing to take nothing. You stay frontin', you walk in the stage and say nothing. Say something, you standing over the grave dumping. Dirt on your own, the shovel, the chrome, the same function. The powder, the charge, the bullet right through your brain function. The future's the past, the system is crashed. There's a virus in your iris, third eye made of glass. Learn to feel, differentiate the false from the real. Religion from human spirit, you survive through your will. Family first, nurture your own. They gon' pass the knowledge on the generations long after you gone. Question it all, think for yourself. Accept your mistakes. When you fail, never forget how it felt. Teach someone something instead of bitching about the cards you was dealt. Only then will your presence be felt. If you can hear these visions, then take a long, hard listen through the walls of this prison. In case you haven't seen the signs, they'd rather I not give you peace in the mind. Cause I'm here to show the world something. And that made me a threat. They wage war and that made me a vet. Cause I'm here to show the world something. Lighters up, heads high, your battle scars and the stars in line. Alright, 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 alright.
Salute, 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 salute to everybody in the building. I appreciate y'all. We are here. It is a Shy Ill Reacts live. We are on and popping. Hopefully y'all hear everything and see everything just fine, because I was tinkering and pushing things around earlier, so hopefully everything is up to par right now. Salutes to the chat. JP the Ghost up in there first. Salutes to Old Soul. per usual, and we are in the building. I would have been here earlier, but again, I was tinkering, still trying to figure out this StreamYard problem. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I had a good time, but I think one of the little savage crumb snatchers in my family gave me another cold, and I just got over one. So I said, let me go live before the coffin takes over, and not the coffin, but the coughing takes over, and hopefully not the coffin, and get a live in and cover a couple of things and see what's up with my people. Hopefully everybody got what they wanted. Hopefully everybody got for their children what their children wanted. And if you didn't get it this year, I'm sure you'll get it next year. Keep stabbing away at the game and keep moving forward, man. Every day is an attempt to try to break us into 1,000 pieces. It's your job to keep it together. We got this. Salutes to Ariza in the chat. Salutes to you. Appreciate you being here. Got into the habit of putting one of my joints, one of my songs at the beginning of the live stream. At least the ones that got, that won't get a copyright shutdown. You know what I'm saying? But put some of this stuff out there so y'all can get familiar with one of my many lives. But we're here today, a little housekeeping. Again, salute to everybody in the building. If you walk in, please wipe your feet and hit the like button. It's a small price to pay for the games we play. Hit that thumbs up. It helps the channel, as so much more than you could really imagine. And we need that around here. Housekeeping, we got the $2 TTS per usual. Text to speech. You can make a $2 donation. The link is in the description, and it'll ring up on my screen, and it'll look and sound like this.
Test user sent $50 test message.
And for $5, you could also add a YouTube link to that. That will play in the middle of my show, and I will react to it right then and there. As long as it's not something that get me knocked off of YouTube. So I appreciate you being here. Salutes to Think Like a Kingpin in the chat. Said the song is hot. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Y'all can find that on YouTube. Just put in Sha Ill. It should pop up. 1871 is the album. Got another album up there called Vigil. It's an album that I did for a character that I played in a movie. And I did the album through the eyes of the character, basically. But yeah, we're here. We're going to do our thing. So salute to everybody that's in the building. I hope your tummies are full. Them leftovers. Tomorrow's the deadline for leftovers. It's really today. You know what I'm saying? It's really today if you celebrated on Christmas Eve. But tomorrow is the deadline, all right? It's over with, all right? We don't want none of y'all falling apart over some leftovers. All right, let's see what we got here today. Oh, and I also want to shout out one of our members of the audience, a supporter named Bob Marley. Salutes to Bob Marley. He dropped our first super thanks today, so thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Hopefully y'all caught Cartel Wives this afternoon. That was the last thing of the bulk that I had to edit to get out and put on the channel this week. We're gonna start rifling through all of these Cartel Wives episodes, and we're gonna start rifling through all of these Finnegan's Takes episodes. I'm gonna try to do a live every day at some point or another until we ran them into the dirt, ran them out, and we on to something else and see what else comes up. The story does not end, so we'll keep it moving. I appreciate y'all. No screen. Let's see what we got here. So a couple of things I wanted to take a look at today. We had one from Bill Stack's channel that I want to check out. It's a conversation he has with a guy. Guy says he's a former king from the South Side, and he has a Kato story that involves the twins and that involves Val, and I want to see what y'all think about it. So we'll start with that. We'll start with that and see what we come up with. Salutes to y'all again. Please hit the like button, and if at any point any of the audio goes sideways, y'all let me know in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. Salutes to y'all. We're gonna get out this new year productive, so let's do this. Let's check this out.
Looked at because of good money. I do a lot of good talking about I'm the naked cowboy. No, I'm serious. So the stuff, me and my wife started writing I wrote one screenplay before I met her, and I actually, had the Kings bring in Kato, and Kato was DMX's. I'm in a DMX video too. R. Kelly, DMX, and Fat Joe. Just a cameo in the DMX one, but that's the Kato one. So Kato was.
So let me give you a quick background of what he said in the story. Former Chicago bad guy, went to prison, did his thing, turned good guy. He's a background actor and a stunt actor and an actor now. So I guess he's done it all in the game. And he writes, and this is a story about him writing a screenplay, and then them bringing him to Kato. Shout out, Think Like a Kingpin in the chat. He said, "I seen you found the Billboard pics." Yeah, we're gonna talk about where I found them too. Salutes to you. That was my Christmas gift to the people in the audience. Merry Christmas. Here's a nice little heart and an I love you for all of y'all. So appreciate you. It's out there. It's out there.
Good writing. I wrote one screenplay before I met her, and I actually, had the Kings bring in Kato, and Kato was DMX's. I'm in a DMX video too. R. Kelly, DMX, and Fat Joe. Just a cameo in the DMX.
I want to look for these cameos. I want to find them.
One, but that's the Kato one. So Kato cameo in the DMX one, but that's the Kato one. So Kato was Rudy Rangel was a Latin king. He was from Leclerc Courts originally, and that's how I'd met him when he was little shorty. He was doing a film.
I always got to question it when somebody has to qualify something and say, I knew him when he was a shorty. He was just a shorty to me. You know what I'm saying? I always got to question that. That's a character flag to me, a character red flag to me, and I always got to question that. You know what I mean? Why you son him?
With drug short.
Now, if that's the real case, knew him when he was a shorty, cool. But if the math ain't mathing, I don't know how old Buddy is or whatever, but if the math ain't mathing, I always got to question that type of talk. That's like when Sammy said, they brought him in here, they make a big hubbub like they were some big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like they were heavyweights. Every time you do that, I got to question your intention.
He was doing films with drug money for DMX. And so he had produced couple of films.
Is that what was happening? This guy got all the answers over here. That's not incriminating at all.
I thought, I'm going to get this guy to do our film. And so he had produced a couple for DMX. He was doing films with drug money for DMX. And so he had produced a couple of films, and I thought, I'm going to get this guy to do our film. And I actually wrote it for DMX and everything else. And we had a meeting, and I got to do the Chicago look around. So,
yeah, so do I. So do I. Salute, Think Like a Kingpin in the chat. He put the cap up. The caps are already up. Everybody else, give me your vote, man. Y'all let me know as we go through. If you smell some capping, you throw some caps out there.
and I probably shouldn't, but I wrote it for DMX and everything else. And we had a meeting, and I got to do the Chicago look around. So, and I'm going to tell you this, and I probably shouldn't, but they can't do anything to me anyway. So Rudy says, I don't go into business without, some guarantees. And the way the game works and everything is you got to out extort the other guy. I got something on you. You got something on me. We can't rat. But if I come up on you, if I'm higher than you, now I got a little leverage on you. So I can do things. So.
Yeah, but what are we talking about here? Are y'all going to pull a roll on somebody? Are y'all going to take somebody out? Are you Tony Soprano and Big Ussy? While they had Calogero from Bronx Tale sitting in the chair drinking that unsweetened soda, and they both had to take a shot so that they had that kind of leverage on each other. Or are you making a movie? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one is it? What are we talking about here?
If I'm higher than you, now I got a little leverage on you. So I can do things. So he wanted leverage on me, and he says, you're gonna rob 2 drug dealers. I want you to rob a drug dealer that you know first. He goes, I don't care how big they are, but I want to see what they got and blah blah blah. And tell me the story about it. He said, and then I'm going to have you rob one of the guys that I choose.
This is like the ghetto Squid Games right here. You got to do missions. You got to hit the big boss before you come back.
And if he says the minute you get done coming back from the second job, he says, I'll sign that contract right now and finance the whole film. And this was millions of dollars. He was down to do it.
That's a movie in itself right there. Let's make that movie. I'm going to write that movie, all right? It's like the Game of Death, man. It's like Bruce Lee. Was it Game of Death where he had to go up all the floors and fight all the bosses? Where, yeah, we're going to do this business deal, but first, like this is straight out of Power. Like first, I need you to go hit somebody of your choosing, and then you're going to go hit somebody of my choosing, and then we're going to do legitimate business. Okay?
So we went, and from the second job, he says, I'll sign that contract right now and finance the whole film. And this was millions of dollars. He was down to do it. So we went, and I got a crew together, and we went, and I was going to rob the 2-6 and then Satan's disciples, and I'm thinking, all right, well, we're going to get killed. There was a bunch of Polish immigrants that had a club, a disco club, and they were always in there selling coke.
Was it the infamous 1-2-3 Club? You remember the 1-2-3 Club? I think like Kingpin said, he's a writer, so it's a story. It's his story, right? That makes sense. But damn, I'm a writer too, not a bold-faced liar. But if that's what people do, it is what it is. I'm not saying do the bold-faced liar. I wasn't there. I don't know the story. I just tell you what it sounded like to me. And again, he's a writer, so it might be his story.
Okay, they used to buy coke from me.
1-2-3 Club.
There was a bunch of Polish immigrants that had a club, a disco club, and they were always in there selling coke, and they used to buy coke from me, and they would always be in there. So I thought, I'm going to rob these guys. They're not organized. There's nobody that could do it. So we got DEA vests, bought them on some online cop thing, had zip ties.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Was Amazon delivering 24 hours back then? You get you a little cop uniform offline? I don't know. Possibly. I mean, I could ask Alexa, but I don't trust her that much either. But they ordered some police uniforms online.
These guys, they're not organized. There's nobody that could do it. So we got DEA vests, bought them on some online cop thing, had zip ties, came in with the guns and the masks, and, we're robbing the place. And I told these guys on my crew, I said, don't rob anything else. Don't rob no TVs. Don't take their jewelry. So the minute we got the drugs and everything else and they're zip tied on the ground, we're getting ready to leave. And these fools are out robbing everything. And you could see the 2 guys on the ground looking at each other like they knew it was fraud now. And that means we have less time to get away, and that means more trouble. So we got away.
What? So wait, now it's fraud now? Well, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you still they can't call the law over dope, but they could call the law over TVs, right? But y'all still got them right there hemmed up. So how does that keep you from getting away? Are you talking about later? You talking about in the long term? What do you think? Those guys are going to worry about those TVs and give up their whole... I don't understand what you're saying, but then again, I'm probably just clueless. Y'all tell me. I might be wrong.
I gave the stuff to Cato away, and that they knew it was fraud now. And that means we have less time to get away, and that means more trouble. So we got away. I gave the stuff to Cato, and he gave me the names of the guys that he wanted me to rob. And
all right, here we go. Now, I like to take what we've learned from these podcasts and what I've learned from these podcasts, these interviews, these interactions, these conversations. I like to take what I've learned and deduct things and see what other people say. And it's not hard sometimes to pick up that somebody's just has taken the rumors, put them together, and then made them part of their story. It feels like that sometimes. So I need to know if that's what this is. Let's see.
He gave me the names of the guys that he wanted me to rob and an arrangement. And Who's El Guapo? What's his?
All right, so El Guapo, right? There's this guy named El Guapo, right? I don't know if y'all heard of him. Big time, bigger than Chapo, bigger than everybody. His name is El Guapo. You know what I'm saying? In Spanish, El Guapo. You know what I'm saying? So, in case y'all didn't know, just a little background. There's this guy out there named El Guapo. You know.
And who's El Guapo? What's his name? Guzman?
El Chapo Guzman.
These guys are the guys that eventually ended up killing Cato. He got shot like 15 times in a bar.
He said that matter-of-factly. You know what I'm saying? He says that matter-of-factly like he has all the information, right? But these guys, they worked with El Guapo.
In a barber chair.
El Chapo Guzman.
These guys are the guys that eventually ended up killing Cato. He got shot like 15 times in a barber chair in the neighborhood. The names of the guys that eventually came out, I just found, not like 2 years ago, found out that they were working for El Chapo. They were Latin Kings, and they were getting information from his wife, and he stole drugs from them. So he was trying to get me to rob people he stole drugs from, and he already stole drugs. You know, he was going to have.
One more time. One more again.
Like 2 years ago, found out that they were.
Found out 2 years ago.
Are the guys that eventually ended up killing Cato. He got shot like 15 times in a barber chair in the neighborhood. The names of the guys that eventually came out, I just found, not like 2 years ago, found out that they were working for El Chapo. They were Latin Kings, and they were
Then they were. I've always heard they had no affiliation. Again, same as with the Spider-Loc story about the chain. Who am I going to believe? Somebody that's actually doing research, somebody that has new information, somebody that has information that nobody else has, or people that can't get the smallest details of a story that's a real story that have to do with real human beings. They can't get the story together. You know what I'm saying? And again, I take this personally because I look at T Streets, and people can say what they want. You can go to my Zach TV playlist, The Tragic Death of Zach TV. I feel like the internet took part, as well as the streets do it, just dummies, just pushing information that's wrong and people dying over it. You know what I'm saying? And it happens. So this guy's made some crazy claims, all right? He made the claim that he had to go hit somebody, and then Kay was going to get him to hit somebody. Also that he could make a movie with him. Okay, that's number one. Number two, he found out that they were Latin Kings. We know that's not true. Yeah, their brothers are fitted. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing when your brothers want. I know dudes that are in the same family, that are in the same household, that are two different. One got to go across the street, the other one got to go across the street. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying that they Latin Kings. We haven't heard that. And he's saying matter-of-factly that Val was feeding them information and that Kay robbed the twins for whatever amount of bricks and work or whatever. But this guy's making a whole bunch of claims here. And he claims that they were working for El Guapo. So I need to figure out what's really going on here.
Information from his wife.
Look at that.
Not like 2 years ago.
He found out 2 years ago
the
wife
shot
was doing
like
it.
15 times in a barber chair in the neighborhood. The names of the guys that eventually came out, I just found, not like 2 years ago, found out that they were working for El Chapo. They were Latin Kings, and they were getting information from his wife, and he stole drugs from them. So he was trying to get me to rob people he stole drugs from, and he already stole drugs. You know, he was going to have me killed.
And he already stole drugs.
Maybe he was going to take my.
He was going to have you what? Hold on.
So
wait.
He was trying to get me to rob people he stole drugs from, and he already stole drugs. You know, he was going to have me killed.
Okay.
Maybe he was going to take my. I don't know.
Maybe.
Put it this way: wasn't a good idea. If you already robbed him and they killed him, and he wanted me to rob him,
huh?
I don't know. You know, whatever. I'm glad he got killed before I robbed him.
Wow.
Put it that way.
So you held up half of the bargain and you gave him all of that, and then you didn't do the second job, and then he died, and then so you just turned over all of that to him, and you got nothing out of the deal, no movie, no nothing. Oh man. Also in the chat said Buddy got his own script. Man, we need to get it produced, man. We need a producer. Somebody get a producer on the line right now. I don't know.
And I got a picture of Kato right here.
Yeah, Kato was Rudy Rangel. He's got credits in some of the DMX films. There you go. That's my boy. Yeah. Yeah. Look at him throwing up. That's his wife too.
What? Put that. There's a meme. I'm gonna cut it into the edited version. What? What? That's his wife. That's Val right there. The one in the middle. I see Dog. I see K. I see Sushi on the back. Who's that? That's Val in the middle? Stop. Val will flip a TV over if she hear this. You know what I'm saying? Viv will flip a TV over if she see this. And she's not the TV flipper. I know Val will flip a TV. She'll flip a TV she see this. So that's more of the story right there. That's more story right there.
Boy, yeah. Yeah. Look at him throwing up. That's his wife too. Let's see who's
so he got killed.
Yeah. That's his wife? Come on, man.
Yeah, from what I understand, his wife got some four corner hustlers for these Gomez brothers or whoever they were.
So it was not even the Flores twins. It's the Gomez brothers that worked with El Guapo that did all of this, man. You know what I'm saying? It was El Guapo. Wildin'. Think like Kingpin said, Twin and Kato got bad taste. If this picture tell it, look at this picture. Who's this lady? Now, mind you, I've seen this picture blurred out a lot. I'm sure this lady don't want her face everywhere in this picture. She took it though, so she wildin'. But he got the facts wrong. It's definitely not Val. It's definitely not Val.
He's a straight dude. Wife too. Yeah.
He said that's his wife.
Yeah. Look at him throwing up. That's his wife too. Let's see who's.
So he got killed.
Yeah, from what I
Val somewhere punching the air right now.
understand, his wife got some four corner hustlers for these Gomez brothers or whoever they were. He's a straight dude. He used to go into LeClaire Courts, and I used to sell a lot of things in LeClaire Courts. It wasn't far. The project's not far. I was the only white dude that would, go in there. A lot of people got killed. I mean, they wouldn't kill me because I had the good dope. You're kind of protected, and if it's like you kill me, you ain't gonna get no more dope. So,
it's a dangerous game, man. It's a dangerous game.
Yeah. When when I was sober, it seemed harder and scarier. But when you're high as hell, you really don't care. But that's when you make mistakes. When you're sober, you don't make mistakes. So remember that story I told you about the people set me up with my case for 60 years?
Oh, another story. I ain't got it in me. That was the story. We got the story that we came for. Again, I don't know the man. I don't know nothing about the man. I'm sure I could run into the man under certain circumstances. He's an actor. I'm an actor. It is what it is. But in my opinion, I just don't buy it. There's probably something there, something way smaller than that. But there's just too many. Come on, man. He done put Val on that lady. He done said he had to go through the game of death to get a movie done. And he matter of factly said that she set them up with them to do this to him for that. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's the hat. I don't know what's bothering me, but the math ain't mathing. It ain't gelling over here. Again, everybody wants to, everybody's out there getting interviewed. I don't understand what everybody getting interviewed about. But everybody's out there getting interviewed. Everybody has to have a story. Everybody has to have something to say. And, sometimes they got to dig in the bag and make up something or add a little grease on something or add a little more on something, add a little, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but I got a million stories trapped in the back of my brain. I'd never even imagined coming out of my face with them on camera. You know what I'm saying? And the people that do and the people that are quick to do so, and then if their story sounds grandiose to me, like the twin story, that sounds grandiose, right? But that story's been vetted through a whole lot of different channels, And I don't mean YouTube channels. But when you're on YouTube, there's people out there saying whatever they want. Everybody got a story that don't match or add up. And also, again, everybody's going to have their perception. You know, you'll have two guys. One could clearly win the fight, and the other one just say, nah, I ain't lose nothing. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. It just sounds a little far-fetched to me. Sounds a little far-fetched to me. So y'all tell me, y'all believe him or you don't believe him? Salutes PR Black in the chat. Shael, salute my brother. Hoping that you and yours are enjoying the holidays. We had a great holidays, even though one of them gave me a cold. But we had a great holidays. I hope you and yours had a great holiday, man. Salutes to you. Hope your new year is great. Hope everybody's walking into the new year talking crazy about getting this money and moving forward. That's all we got to look forward to next year. Why? Because everything else is falling apart. Think like a kingpin said, the twin story is vetted through the feds. Absolutely. This guy right here, I got to go read a report or something, see what he's talking about. But the twin story was vetted through the feds. Facts. So yeah, so that's that. We got Buddy out the way. Let me see. Boom. All right. What else did I want to take a look at? So you guys saw that Ariza said dude's a clown waiting for the circus. Yeah, man. Peanut hat.
Exactly what
yeah, I just don't get it though. I don't I'd rather not say nothing. I'd rather not open my mouth with somebody's name but then he thinks to himself, the twins are in the wind, Val's in the wind, K's gone. Who's here to validate my story? He ain't counting on me sitting here saying, I don't know, not that I matter. I don't matter. You know, they would make it seem that way though. People get bent out of shape, man. People get bent out of shape. They wanna give you reasons why it looked the way it looked. Well, I see it how I saw it. So I gave y'all the billboards on Christmas. I'll pop those up right here real quick. For those that didn't see the message, there we go. I said, in honor of the holiday family and love, I just want to share some love with the illest audience on YouTube and say I love you. We hopeless romantics on this side. Here are the actual billboards of the 3 Bs from Surviving El Chapo. Well played, Pete Flores. Biggest Valentine's Day card we've ever seen. Look at that. I love you today, tomorrow, and forever. 12-10-05. Your grateful husband. Velo. Marrying you is a dream come true. I wonder if this is a shadow or if somebody graffitied the sign and then they came and fixed it. I'm sure it affects the company. Whatever company sells that, I'm sure it affects their bottom line. Somebody writes on it. But there they are. Now, I got these from, I believe, from Charlie Webster's Instagram. We're going to go over there in a second because Charlie be wilding. But yeah, here they are, man. Listen, where's dudes? This right here, this is proof in the pudding. This right here lets it be known that that's not an urban myth. That's something that happened. It went down. Those billboards were up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the story may be, however stupid you may see it, this shows that it was a reality, you know? 2 billboards. I wonder if there was any more than that. 2 of them might be what? One going, one coming, or one up the block? Might be up the block. But there you have it. There you have it. Let's go back to, what's her face? Let's go to Charlie's IG. She got some other stuff on here too. So Charlie is a little loosey-goosey on her Instagram. I'm on Charlie Webster's Instagram right now. Charlie said, thank you, Jay and Val and all the Flores family for trusting me to bring your story to the world. I'm not great at receiving praise, so excuse me, stood awkwardly. Telling people's stories, no matter what their journey or truth, is such a privilege and my utmost passion. We are all a story. Telling ours gives us validation and empowerment. And hearing others widens our own perspective, builds greater understanding, even if we don't agree with it. You love the praise. You agree with it. You one of us. You love the game, Charlie. Let's not pretend you don't love the game, Charlie. So I'm going to play this right here on Charlie Webster's Instagram. Y'all can go follow her if you want to.
We just want to thank you so much for working on our story, for being a part of our life for these last 3 years. You've been amazing. You did a great job. Surviving the Chapel is exactly what we wanted to be depicted. Just a different side of who we are and our reasons how and why we made those decisions. So thank you. We hope that you get many awards and that we continue to work with you some way, somehow. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We love you. From
Thank
the bottom
you.
of my heart, thank you for letting
Thank
me
you
share.
for trusting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all let me know if you want me to turn it up. If you can't hear it, I'll turn it up a little louder. Just let me know.
Thank you for sharing yourselves in life with me. Thank you.
Go back to you. Just kidding. We just want
He told her, go back to England. Just kidding. Now, this is my take from this video. And I'm not going to be pausing it in opportune places and things like that because that's not my business. But she called herself a journalist, and she is, right? And they're a production company, which they are, and they go through all of these lengths. And everywhere these guys go, they're under shadowy lighting and backlit so that you can't see them and all of this shit. Okay? I'm an actor. I audition. I audition off my phone and I edit videos in my phone on a daily basis, right? It was nothing. It was no sweat off for her to cut that man's face off at the end of this video, but she didn't do that. It's on her Instagram like that. I don't understand that. To me, that just seems counterintuitive to everything, all the precautions that y'all have been taking as a production company, as the twins, as the wives, as all of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's right there. You know? Let me turn this up a little bit. I'll play it one more time and then that's it. But you get the point. Like, why are you being all mad secretive and running around incognito and telling us in the podcast, oh, it's dangerous and this, that, the other? And then you're like, oh, let me post this just like this. It take nothing to cut that end of that clip off. Nothing. Especially from somebody that's experienced. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. It seems counterintuitive to me. Let me play it one more time. Let me turn it up. But he's basically giving her praise for doing her thing. He need to check her. Check the whole production company.
I want to thank you so much for working on our story, for being a part of our life for these last 3 years. You've been amazing. You did a great job. Surviving the Chapel is exactly what we wanted to be depicted. Just a different side of who we are and our reasons how and why we made those decisions. So thank you. We hope that you get many awards and that we continue to work with you some way, somehow. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We love you. From
Thank
the bottom
you.
of my heart, thank you for letting
Thank
me
you
share.
for trusting me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing yourselves in life with me. Thank you.
Go back to you. Just kidding. We just want
So again, that's my take on that video. My take is, you're ridiculous. PR Black, you see what I'm saying? They wildin'. You go through all these counter surveillance measures and then your Instagram is hot. Like, I don't get that part. It don't make sense to me. You don't make sense to me. I don't get it. Let's see what else we can find on her page. Oh, shit, let me go back. Damn, I lost it. Yeah, that shit was crazy to me. I don't get that part. It doesn't even make sense. Oh, I care about them and this, that. Do you? Do you care about them? Ticks like a kingpin, mind blown. Let's see. And she made something here. I don't know what it is. It's looking wild. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. So we heard this stuff on the
certainly the largest drug traffickers in Chicago history, which is saying something. And at the time they surrendered, they were probably the largest in the United States. They were at the tippy top of the drug world.
That's that cop or that DA.
When the twins surrendered, I mean, they were certainly the largest drug traffickers in Chicago history, which is saying something. And at the time they surrendered, they were probably the largest in the United States. They were at the tippy top of the drug world, but they were largely insulated from like the violence and a lot of the things that come along with that. And I think at that time, like around 2008, Mexico was just exploding with narco violence. They were smart enough to realize that they were at the level where they either needed to become Chapo and everything that comes along with that, or turn against Chapo and try to basically hit the reset button.
So there's that. So she got a couple of things on her page. Most of it is stuff that we hear on the podcast. We just don't see the visuals. This was.
What was it like when you first saw Pete out of prison? What was the moment?
Well, we had spent so much time apart that I was so nervous. It was emotional for sure.
What kind of emotions?
Just like every type of like sadness, happiness at the same time. I'm still a little bit shocked at the fact that we were actually back together again. It also was, I felt like there was a void for sure. And I think that hurt. The fact that, I'm seeing my brother and I'm like, everything's still the same, but we're just a little bit different now. 12 years. I left him when I was 28. Now I'm 40.
It's like a lifetime, 28 and 40.
Yo, all of this digitizing their face and for what?
And I have those same memories, those same thoughts, but I know that we live two different lives and now we're not seeing things the same. I could feel the void for sure, and that hurt me. It's something I'm never gonna get back, right?
It's that right there. That conversation is a testament to how things change for them. You know what I'm saying? How things change for them in their brotherly nature. A couple of guys that was together at the hip all the time, then snatched for 12 years, come back together. You've learned how to do it on your own. There's parts of you that are different. And you got to get back to know each other again type shit. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to the chat. PR Black said the way she was talking on that Johnny Mitchell show, The Connect, she was acting like she cared. Super acting like she cared. But you can't cut it on your phone or some kind of program to edit video and just cut the end off right there. I don't understand that. Shout out Julio Cardenas. Shai, saludos desde Houston. Used to live in La Villita. Chirac, salute to you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. But yeah, so this clip, I don't remember if we heard that or what, but when I heard it dawned on me that it's they came back to two different versions of each other. I don't know that they know each other yet. You think they still sitting on millions? Anything's possible. Anything's possible. I would hope they sitting on millions. You know what I'm saying? Let me get something out of this deal. I don't know what good it'll do them right now, but the future will tell. The future will tell. Time will tell. Who knows if that was all that's buried? I mean, if they ain't no dummies, you know what I'm saying? But who knows? PR Black said Ariza definitely not M's, but they sitting on something. That's quite possible too. And it's also quite possible that whatever they were sitting on is what these fools came for, and why the women are going in and there's nothing left. Yeah, that's a reality too. That's a possibility too. You know, crazy. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Please hit the like button. We chilling. We going over little random things right now. We all up in Charlie Charlie. I was gonna call it Charlie Murphy. We all up in Charlie Webster's Instagram, watching her dox everybody and show everybody's face. Let's see what else we got here. I swear I got the.
Around the same time, Jay started to feel sick, but none of the prison guards believed him. They thought he was faking his illness because his compassionate release had been denied.
You know, for me to get to that point and then being sick, especially during COVID, it just made everything even harder.
They must have thought that because it was around the same time that we filed for compassionate release that he was like almost making it up, until like his whole face like blew up and his throat, like his airways ended up closing on him. So he was almost incapacitated by the time they took him out of the prison. And that's how the infection got so bad, and then that's how he ended up getting sepsis.
You know what, I think just being like helpless in the cell, I just, like it got to a point where I couldn't, you know, like I'm shaking. Like I can't even tell you like what that last week was like, because you know you're in pain and I'm just lost.
Well,
you know, I
got
desperate. I don't recall. I do know that they carried me out myself. They put me in an ambulance. And I remember the doctors being really upset. I remember like, this doesn't happen
Really
in a day.
upset.
You know, this
Why?
Because like what? Why wasn't he here sooner?
Right.
This doesn't happen in a day or 2 days. This like been going on for a long period of time.
30.
This is not acceptable. You know, I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, listen, fix me, you know, do whatever you have to do.
They even had to transfer him to another hospital for intensive care.
Trauma unit.
Around the
Yeah, they was just waiting for you to go, bro. They was just waiting for you to go. Dirty. And I'm sure none of them paid. There was no consequences for none of that. I'm almost positive. Almost positive there was no consequences for none of it. Chapo met with
3 months later, El Chapo
Hold on, we gotta do this. Cause they
met with Sean
demonetized
Penn
our
for that
Chapo
Rolling
video.
Stones interview. You know exactly the one I'm talking about. El Chapo's return strengthened the Sinaloa cartel's power. He was known as the Eternal Fugitive. For the Flores twins, it meant even more uncertainty. Pete thought El Chapo would never be caught again.
I cannot believe he actually pulled that off, you know, and I think that alone probably kept the cartel like in a situation of power. You know, I think that escape was bigger than just him escaping for the cartel. When it should have been on its way out, it had this, you know, a little more force to it. You tend to feel like that's the team you want to be with when they get away with things like that.
Did it make you question what team you were on in that moment?
Nah, I'm gonna tell you something. I was impressed. I mean, but no, he's on the losing side. Everyone who's in that life is on the losing side. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many people you have with you. It's only a matter of time.
3 months.
Your team put you on the losing side too. Team America put you on the losing side too. PR Black said, I feel like the Chapito situation, if the Chapito situation wasn't what it is, they might have to really, really worry. Just my opinion. Yeah, quite possible. Again, I feel like in Mexico, everything's disposable. And it's like, all right, Chapito's gone. Next. And boom. Get the next dude in there. And what do we care about the other one? That's 3 dynasties ago. You know what I'm saying? Same thing like what that dude Bobby was saying on Stax' show about, he was saying, who's going to come? Who's going to foot the bill for somebody to go get Sammy? For what? You know, what good does that do anybody? Does it make anybody any money? Does it get anybody any revenge? You know, John's gone. A lot of those guys are gone. This guy's been walking around. So who knows? Who knows? But I'm sure if those dudes, if the Chapitos were still in control, I'm sure they'd have more, you know. They have the most reason to be going after them. You know what I'm saying? They have the most reason. Crazy. Crazy. I'd be in the back with a shovel like Uncle Junior on The Sopranos. Pussy Malanga, I got my money. After the judge spoke to you and gave you your blah, 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 blah. Here's another picture. Let's see what Charlie got to say. What a privilege it has been to be able to tell the story of the Flores family and creating Surviving El Chapo. I remember when I first met Jay and Pete Flores several years ago, and we spent hours talking about our childhoods, choices and paths we'd taken, including 50. In that moment, the twins decided to trust me to be the person who would bring their story to the public. What happened had only ever been told by law enforcement or other drug traffickers and cartel members. I also have and had my own strong feelings, we've heard about this, tell the story, and have experienced the destruction of loved ones through drugs, which I discussed many times with the twins. My job was to ask the difficult questions, but also see the twins and the family for who they really are, to be able to tell their story with nothing but authenticity, as well as their children, who you'll hear toward the end of the season. Last year, while recording season 1, my cousin lost her life from drugs. Last year, whilst recording season 1, my cousin lost her life from drugs, and I found that really challenging. The twins also told me they lost their older brother to an overdose. Grateful to the Flores family for seeing me and for 50 Cent. I've just been working through the ending of this season, which only takes us up to the present day and delves into what's happened with Val and Viv and why the government did what they did, but also looks at whether El Chapo behind bars has made any difference to the war on drugs. No. The halt in cocaine temporarily when the twins stopped, the importance of cooperators, often the only way police can put together complex cases, and how fentanyl is taking over, because it's so much cheaper to manufacture and the profit margins are higher. Season 2 is out now. We covered it, girl. So there you go. You got a picture of them talking. He got one of the 50 phones in his hand. Let's see if there's anything else here.
I remember the person in charge of our units.
That's when they separated them. We saw that. Here go the billboards. It was only because locals posted pics and then the local news crew saw them that the twins got found out, and I could track down the pics. Pete, with Jay's help, managed to get these billboards set up from inside prison on the road into the prison so his wife could see it when visiting. What a story. It came back to haunt them, though, big time. There it is. Number 1, number 2. Got him.
I got the billboards. And the billboards was just a violation of my security at the time. And yeah, they were not happy about that.
We all paid the price for that one.
Peter, I remember for Valentine's Day, he wanted to put up these 2 billboards. 2 huge billboards on the interstate, like when you roll up to the visit.
That's what my intention was, just to surprise her on her way home. That she sees like a little token of my love and appreciation for her. And I felt like it was simple words. It was like, marrying you was the best thing that ever happened to me. I love you today.
Yeah.
You're great for husband. I can't wait to spend forever with the second one. It was on the news someday, like a journalist seen them or they talked about them and they went out to make a story. Like, look what a husband did for his wife. Never imagined that the guy who did it was in prison. But later on, I knew how the trouble was coming when the COs would come over to our unit and be like, "Who's the guy that put up the billboards?" Don't forget, they're not supposed to know, you know? It was trouble. Because of the billboards, my best friend, my brother, who I spent my whole life with, got transferred. Wow, that's a little bit bigger, huh? I got the billboards.
That's crazy. I ain't never heard that. So they did a whole news story thinking it was somebody on the outside. That goes along with, again, I was listening to some old Howard Stern clips, and a clip popped up, and he's like, whatever the Obama's traffic, again, Obama's traffic, and I was thinking, was that P&J? You know what I'm saying? It was their traffic. So there was a lot of strange coincidences. The story's stranger than fiction, you know? That they thought it was somebody on the outside that did something special for his wife, and it's these guys in the joint messing around and shit. It's too funny. Too funny. Let's see.
Hey, it's 50 Cent.
And I'm Charlie Webster. I know so many of you loved the first season of Surviving El Chapo, the twins who brought down a drug lord, and have been patiently waiting for season 2.
Don't worry, we got you. Season 2 is up right now.
Yeah,
Here
we did
go.
that, bro. We did that. We did it thoroughly. Told us what the courtroom looked like, and we peeped it. We on. All right, let's move on from here. Let's see what else I got lined up over here. We did that guy, this guy, couple 2-3, this guy, Greg Scarpa interview. No, I'm straight. Again, shout out Bob Marley for our first Super Thanks. It's a milestone. All right. Where we at here? So let's see if I can find anything else that's fresh and new that we haven't heard or seen yet. And if not, we go right into a chapter of Cartel Wives. Why not? Throw the search up real quick. See if we missed anything this week. Salutes to everybody that came through. I appreciate y'all. Please hit the like button. Appreciate y'all for being here. Appreciate your engagement in the chat. For those that would like to be part of the Discord invite is pinned to the top of the chat. I'm going to throw my hundreds up in here. For the chat. Salutes to y'all. And hit that thumbs up. Think like Kingpin said, one day you should check out that Saul paperwork. Just a thought. No, that's something I really want to do. I got to go on a search and find that. I'm going to find that paperwork. And we're going to talk about it. That's something I definitely want to do. Past week. Nope, only our videos pop up. And the news that the documentaries coming. Man, I hope they don't copyright strike me when I do them documentaries. I'm going to shred them to pieces, boy. I'm going to shred those videos to pieces. All right, let me put this down here. I don't see nothing here, nothing new. Yeah, but that's our information. I want to find that. I got to get his name and all of his info. I'm going to find that, and we're going to talk about it. Right now, we're going to go into chapter 15 of Cartel Wives. Why? Because I'm here. Why not? Chapter 15 of Cartel Wives, and I might just come back tomorrow. Well, not might. Tomorrow, you know, if I have a voice, I will be here, and we'll be doing Finnegan's Take episode 2. And if we got time, we'll throw another Cartel Wives down. Get these out there. But yeah, there's a couple of things lined up that I want to look into. It's just a lot. I'm also just trying to get this show on all the platforms. I'm trying to get this show on StreamYard so that we can have guests. There's just a lot of technical things that I'm doing right now. Are they going to turn their life into a docuseries? They announced it about 2 weeks ago. We announced it here as well. They got a docuseries through 50's company and Lionsgate, and that'll be on BET. So they are doing a docuseries. Docuseries before the scripted series. Docuseries, yes. So that is a yes, PR Black. Absolutely. All right. Last week we had weddings on Cartel Wives, 13 and 14. Weddings that got shut down. Weddings that got extorted. All of the above. But everybody got married. Everybody was happy. And I don't know if they were both pregnant at the time, but I know Val was pregnant. Here we go. Chapter 15. No matter what the book says, the book is lying. We on chapter 15.
Chapter 13. Margarito Sr.
Uh-oh.
Olivia. My pregnancy had been totally healthy and uneventful, but in Mexico, doctors and hospitals will do anything to make more money, so they'd persuaded me to have a C-section. Junior and I had scheduled the birth of our baby for December 19th, 2005, and we were so excited that we went nuts getting ready for it. I bought Junior a Louis Vuitton backpack to use as a diaper bag, matching the man bag he used to carry all his cell phones. In my suitcase, I packed a Burberry sleeper and matching hat, bib, and blankie. The night before we left for the hospital, Junior asked our housekeeper to wash all of my sheets and blankets so they smelled like Downy and to clean the baby's things with Dreft. He wanted to make sure we were comfortable. Everything surrounding Brandon's birth was our happiest time, and as Junior looked me in the eyes, he reminded me why he fell in love with me and how much he loved me. As the nurses laid our beautiful boy on my chest, we were overwhelmed with joy. He looks like an angel sent from God, I thought, and when Junior picked up Brandon and held him in his arms, I realized. Junior has the sweetest, gentlest soul, and he's given me my beautiful son. In return, I've given him the gift of knowing what a beautiful family is. Right at that moment, I finally let go. With Junior, I didn't need to guard my heart. I trusted him, and I stopped caring about his job. I stopped wanting to give him a hard time. He'll change when the time is right, I thought. He's given me his word, and I believe him. A few days later, we were home, and it was time to celebrate Christmas as a family.
Mia. Christmas Eve was 5 days after Brandon was born, but Olivia still wanted to host a big family dinner. She and Junior had put up a massive tree and placed white lights all over.
Val, enough with the parties. Enough with the big weddings and the parties, all right? Stop it. Okay? Quiet around the fire, family. That's it. Shout out, Think Like a Kingpin in the chat. He said, I hope they call you to participate in the documentary. That'd be nice. That would be nice. I highly doubt it, though. If Charlie listens to me, especially after she hears this episode, she'll be like, nah.
Over their house, which lit up the whole block. They'd wrapped all their presents and decorated every inch of their place with something Christmassy. It was my first Christmas as a newlywed, and honestly, Peter and I would have stayed in bed all day if we could have. But Olivia had gone all out, and I knew she'd make it the best Christmas ever.
Olivia. Family gatherings are a huge deal in my family, especially to my mom. She has 7 brothers and sisters, and every year she cooks for all of them and invites them, their kids, and their grandkids over. Honestly, I don't remember a holiday without at least 50 people in our house. Mom still takes photos at all our get-togethers and creates albums from them, which she gives to each of us at Christmas. I sometimes tease her saying, "You didn't pick the prettiest pictures of me." But I'm kidding. I love and admire her so much for how she holds her family together, how she shows us what family is all about. And I've always wanted to do the same in my home. Especially on my first Christmas with my brand new son. I'd bought everything we needed for dinner, then lined up the ingredients in rows in the refrigerator and pantry. We were about to sit down to an American feast of turkey, ham, potato salad, yams, mashed potatoes and gravy, and 6 different desserts. After 2 weddings that year, this was our first official Christmas as the Flores family, and I wanted it to be the happiest we'd ever remember. No one was in jail. No one had been kidnapped in months, and there was nothing to do but celebrate the season.
Hey, that's all you could ask for.
Mia. Peter and I were holding Brandon every second he wasn't eating, and Junior's girls, Samantha and Sasha, kept staring at him and saying he looks like a doll. Everyone was there, Xavier, Adrian, and Daniela, Daniela's son and daughter, all of Junior and Peter's sisters and their families. And of course, there were my in-laws, who in many ways I was still learning to understand. My father-in-law was so traditional. He thinks a wife should be home, barefoot, pregnant, and cooking. So he was beyond happy Liv had been prepping dinner all night and cooking all day, even though she'd had a C-section less than a week before.
Damn.
He kept talking about it, and pretty quickly, it got irritating. I had to say something. She's done a lot more in her life than just cook, you know. But she's roasting a turkey when she can hardly stand. Olivia had produced records, had a kid when she was 15, and lived through a husband getting murdered. And yet cooking that damn dinner was the most impressive thing she'd ever done.
Amongst other things. I mean, the old man, I don't know if you knew, but you got to give her the credit. She was locked up and, she made a lot of mistakes, all right? She did some shit. More than just have a baby, I guess.
So much of the time I thought my father-in-law was completely inappropriate, and he could drive anyone crazy. He wasn't at all like my dad, who was genuinely caring and always warm. I wasn't sure I'd ever really feel comfortable with him, but like everything in Peter's world, I was going to accept him because I loved my husband. I'd started to realize my father-in-law was smart, though. I knew where Peter got his brains from. He didn't use his intelligence for the right things, but he could be impressive. I remember meeting with a real estate agent in Guadalajara when I first moved there. Senor had his little notebook out, something he always carried, writing down everything he wanted to know about real estate. He asked, "So, you might list this property at a low price in order to start a bidding war?" "Sí, senor." Then my father-in-law opened up his notebook and took notes. He hadn't made it through middle school, but no matter who he was talking to, he wanted to learn from them. He wasn't affectionate, but he had a lot of good qualities.
There's those people, man. Can't put a book in front of them. They ain't trying to hear it with a book. You know? They ain't trying to hear it with a teacher, but they'll pick it up from experience. Pick up everything from experience. People don't even know they're giving them game, but they're giving them game. Shout out P.R. Black. He said she been through more than a lot of dudes in the hood. Yeah. And was all right with going to cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, she cooking, bro. But again, he's an old-fashioned dude. That was the feat that was amazing to him. That was, you know what I'm saying? She just pushed the baby out. Now she's over there making this turkey happen. You know what I mean? He had a low line for her to hit. You know what I mean?
He just happened to be in the wrong business, and he never failed to make bad decisions.
Olivia. My father-in-law was never careful. He lived in this little town in the middle of nowhere, and he had a beautiful ranch with waterfalls, 10 horses, and all kinds of roosters for cockfights. He was obviously the richest guy for miles, yet he refused to have security. "No one's going to touch me here," he'd say. "I know everyone." Gambling was his thing. It made him feel alive, and he loved flashing his money around. In San Juan, there was this little place in the center of town where people would go play cards and dominoes, and he'd walk in with $50,000 in cash. Then on weekends, he'd go to the horse races and bet $100,000 to $200,000 easy, and not care if he lost it. "You can't do that," Peter and Junior would say, "and you can't go out alone. Take security, take a friend, just protect yourself." But he didn't listen. He wanted to do what he wanted to do, and no one could tell him otherwise.
Mia. The day after Christmas, my father-in-law left Guadalajara to go home to San Juan. It was commonly known that he had another family there, a second wife and 3 little kids, but none of us ever talked about it openly.
Oh.
Not a single person in the family or town approved of it, but we all just didn't want to discuss it. Sometimes before bed, though, Peter would begin to talk about it out of nowhere. "Why does he do this to my mom?" he'd ask. I had no answer. I wondered the same thing myself.
That's a wrinkle we ain't heard before. We ain't heard about the other. Now, I heard a rumor about it, but somebody that was telling me about the book, that they had already read the book, they were like, yeah, there's things in the other thing that we don't know about, that we didn't hear about. I wonder if that has something to do with him going back.
He and my mother-in-law, Amelia, family there. A second wife,
Junior would say. And you can't go out alone. Take security. Take a friend. Just protect yourself. But he didn't listen. He wanted to do what he wanted to do, and no one could tell him otherwise.
Mia. The day after Christmas, my father-in-law left Guadalajara to go home to San Juan. It was commonly known that he had another family there, a second wife and 3 little kids, but none of us ever talked about it openly. Not a single person in the family or town approved of it, but we all just didn't want to discuss it. Sometimes before bed, though, Peter would begin to talk about it out of nowhere. "Why does he do this to my mom?" he'd ask. I had no answer. I wondered the same thing myself. He and my mother-in-law, Amelia, had been married since she was just a teenager. And oh my God, did they fight about it when it came up. My father-in-law would be gone for a night or two, staying with his other family, and when he'd come shuffling in with his walker, my sweet mother-in-law would become another person and let him have it.
Okay.
She'd scream, "Where were you?" "I was at the gambling hall." She'd rail at him. He'd ignore her.
Okay, she wasn't no punk. She didn't just quietly, say, hey, it is what it is. She accepted a lot of other things, but she knew what she had, who she had. That was her family. It's what it was. To stay out of it, right? But when it came to this, she wasn't going to turn a blind eye, so she wasn't no punk.
And then an hour later, she'd come out of her room, make him breakfast, iron his clothes, and take him shopping.
It is what it is.
Every time I'd see them together, I'd think, why does he do this shit? And why does she put up with it?
Olivia. I hated that he hurt my mother-in-law. She was a wonderful woman. The kind of mother I wanted to be. Junior and Peter worked all night, so sometimes we'd all go to her house at 3 a.m., and she'd wake up with a smile on her face and cook us a full 5-course meal like it was 3 in the afternoon. She was always so warm and loving. Watching her really helped me soften up. But not when it came to my father-in-law's other family, and especially not when he walked out the day after Christmas to be with them. I told him exactly how I felt, and trust me, I had no filter.
He probably didn't care.
Mia. Not long after my father-in-law left, Olivia was resting, and Peter and I were sitting with Junior, who was doting on Brandon. I was amazed at what a great father he'd become instantly, effortlessly. Then, one of Peter's phones rang, and when he answered it and started talking, he looked grim. "Oh no, I can't believe it." "What happened?" asked Junior. "Dad's been kidnapped. He was walking through town with his 3-year-old son and someone grabbed them both."
"Oh no!"
"Fuck," Junior said. "It was only a matter of time. We told him not to go back to San Juan alone." It was true. Walking around flashing money with no security, you might as well have a target on your chest. "We have to leave now," said Peter. "Whoever got them might be after us, too."
Olivia. It had taken me a month to make sure Brendan's nursery was perfect before he was born. And when we brought him home from the hospital, our home felt so warm. But in our family, you couldn't have something happy occur without some sort of tragedy involved. In Mexico, we knew we might have to give up everything and leave at any given moment, so I taught myself to detach and stop caring about material things.
Got to.
Our safety was our #1 priority, and our family always had to come first. When Peter and Junior said we had to leave the house, all I could think about was my father-in-law and his son tied up God knows where.
Wildin'.
It was devastating to me.
Not just the old man and a 3-year-old. Wildin'. Yo. Again, like she said, it's been a couple of months and nobody got kidnapped. Like, stranger than fiction, man. It's a whole lot. A whole lot. A whole lot to get into and a whole lot to get out of. There's a whole lot altogether.
Me, to all of us, and I knew we had no other choice. We decided we'd check into a hotel. Unfortunately, since it was Christmas time, everything was booked. So we ended up at this cheap motel a few miles away. The whole gang piled into a few rooms. My mother-in-law, Junior and Pete's sister, Xavier, Junior's girls, Peter's daughter, Sophia, Adrian, Daniela and their kids, Peter and Mia, and me, Junior, and our less than 1-week-old baby. I'm a germaphobe, to the point that I used to make our housekeepers clean the bottom of our shoes with Clorox every day. And I remember looking around that nasty place thinking, oh my God, I can't be here. This hotel is not sterile enough for my newborn baby.
Mia. We huddled up in that Fleabag hotel for days, all crowded together. Peter was a wreck, mostly because he'd lived through 2 kidnappings and knew what these monsters were capable of.
Right.
He'd pace around the room, wringing his hands, looking like he was putting his thoughts together but going completely crazy at the same time. What kind of people would kidnap a baby? He'd say.
Dirtbags.
I'd just shake my head. I don't know, Peter. But all we can do is wait. Around the second day, one of the kidnappers called Peter. Peter had designated a particular phone for them, with a dedicated line. It was a silver flip phone with caller ID on it, pretty basic for 2005, and when that thing lit up that morning, and once every day after that, my stomach would start to hurt. We were convinced that the baby and my father-in-law were dead. Peter was on the call for a few minutes, with a full-on serious look that I'd seen a million times before. He looked 24 going on 60. When he finally got off, he didn't seem relieved, even though he had good news. They're alive, he said. Thank God, I said. Why don't you look happy? The kidnapper wants $6.5 million.
Damn!
He sounds like he does this for a living.
As does everybody else that came and hit y'all for some money, from what it seemed like. That was Saul's living, them federales. These guys, 6.5. PR Black in the chat said, like father, like son in some ways, man. But kidnaps are part of the game, man. Adrian Torres, salute to you in the chat with his hundreds up. Get my hundreds up in here, man. Salute to y'all, everybody that's in here. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do.
I was confused. Why does that matter? Because this is not just some random rich guy getting grabbed off the street for a ransom. The kidnapper's a professional. He knows what he's doing. And he wants me to be afraid of him. To tell you the truth, I am. Junior was all business, basically ignoring his brother's feelings. What else? He wants me to refer to him as Comandante. He wants to be the boss, to be in total control. And he keeps calling whoever ordered the kidnapping the old man. The old man? Junior kept pushing. Anyway, anything else?
Oh, no.
Peter paused. They say they're going to dismember the baby if we don't act fast.
Damn. Who's the old man, y'all? Tell me in the chat. I know y'all know who the old man. There's only one old man it could be. Damn. Top, I expected you to deal with that. Shout out Felix Reyes in the chat. Hundreds up. Damn. And they told, he said, call me Comandante. Call me El Commendatore. Call me Comandante. And we want 6.5. And we're going to do something crazy to this baby. Wildin'. I figured that out, PR Black. Salutes PR Black. PR stands for Puerto Rican Black. Salutes. Felix Reyes, nailed it. Pinche Tío Lupe, man. Tío Lupe is wilding all over again. Damn. Chapo it was already Chapo's business to take care of Tío Lupe, man. Because this is crazy. He over here talking about what he's going to do to babies. Wilding. Oh, it's bananas. Tío Lupe. Or as they would say in this book, Tío Pablo. Punk ass Pablo.
I thought I was going to throw up. Right was all business, basically ignoring his brother's feelings. What else? He wants me to refer to him as Comandante. He wants to be the boss, to be in total control.
Wow.
And he keeps calling whoever ordered the kidnapping the old man. The old man? Junior kept pushing. Anyway, anything else? Peter paused. They say they're going to dismember the baby if we don't act fast.
Damn.
I thought I was going to throw up right then and
there. Instant demonetization, y'all, right there. And Lupe is supposed to be like a brother to him. Lupe is like his uncle. But this is the second time. Lupe already snatched up Peter and held Peter. This is how they got to Chapo. They had to go to Chapo to rescue Peter from Lupe. Lupe has been on this thing. So boom, he had to give up Peter. And in the same process, he looked back to Chapo because Chapo knows he's lying now. And still in the mix of all that, he want to come snatch up the father. That's how deep his vendetta go. And he still owed Chapo. Chapo probably told him, listen, brother, I know what you did, but you still here, but I need that money. You know what I'm saying? Which is probably what he's doing again. He's trying to get 6.5 to finish up that debt. And he's using his familia, his friends, Trying to remember, I think the Lupe connection comes through the father, so that makes it, not that it's even worse, because you already snatched up my son one time. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about right now, Black, that I thought they met Lupe through their father. Exactly. Like, yeah, they met him through his father, I believe, and he was their plug, and he started acting funny. He was Theo, he was the uncle. Pete was genuinely in the story, in both stories, genuinely worried about this dude when he got snatched because he thought they snatched him too. He didn't know that dude snatched him. So think about that. It's crazy. I thought they met Lupe through their father from the 10 million. Before the 10 million, they used to look out for that old man. They used to worry about the time that the old man took his medication and if he took it or not. Meanwhile, he's snatching up everybody he could get his hands on. Also in the chat said, who needs enemies with family like that? Absolutely. Who needs them? Who needs enemies with fam like mine that give me a cold on Christmas? Huh? That's how I feel right now. But yeah, it's crazy. Exactly. PR Black said that's the first person he asked about. First person Peter asked about, how's Lupe? Or as they call him here, Pablo. To think. And then this guy is just, he's their villain, man. He's the villain of like the first act of their movie and shit.
I didn't know that people actually did things like that. Torturing a child? In my world, that stuff didn't happen. In 2005, there weren't movies about cartels, so I hadn't heard of all of the awful things they'd do before they'd kill people. I'd never considered that anyone, anywhere, would even think about cutting up a child.
Demonetization.
Olivia. At that second, my world came crashing down again.
Yeah, I bet.
I'd dreamed of stability, and I thought when I had Brandon, everything just might be normal. Junior and I finally had it all. 2 daughters and 2 sons. It was like our little family was complete. But right then, hearing about that poor baby, my life just turned upside down.
Mia. From that moment on, Peter and Junior spent almost every day, all day, talking about the kidnapping. They quickly realized that the kidnapper was giving them clues. The nickname, Old Man, was strange. The ransom amount seemed off. $6.5 million is such a precise number, almost too exact. Most kidnappers ask for $10 million or some other nice round figure. $6.5 million obviously stood for something. It had to. The one person who could find out was Chapo. He practically ran Mexico, and nothing went down without him knowing.
I feel like we heard that the number seems awkward. I feel like we heard that about another ransom situation in the same story. I don't know if we heard it from Surviving El Chapo or we heard it here. But again, to them it sounds weird again. Yeah, it sounds like capping something off.
If Peter and Junior were going to get to the bottom of it, they had to fly to the mountains to see him. My husband and brother-in-law each packed a small bag and decided to head out the next morning for Culiacan. They weren't going to be gone long. They were just as worried about me and Olivia as they were about their dad. Before Peter walked out the door, he looked at me and said, "Mia, I think you should go somewhere. If this ends badly, I don't want you to be here." "I'm not going anywhere. I'm waiting for you." "Then I'll call the second I get there. I'm so sorry. This is not what I want for you. This is not the honeymoon you deserve." "Peter, it's okay," I said, lying to him. But it wasn't okay. I wasn't okay. I was sitting in a dirty hotel, realizing that loving Peter, that being married to him, wasn't just about accepting his lifestyle.
It's a lot.
It was about living through all its terrible moments, over and over and over. He kissed me hard on the lips and walked out the door. I knew he'd be fine, but for the first time since our wedding, my ideal world shattered, and I thought, why are we living like this?
Olivia.
Shout out Think Like a Kingpin in the chat. He said attempted murder with that vid flu. Facts. Trying to get me, dog.
They weren't gone long, but the meeting was productive. El Chapo told them a lot more than they expected. He revealed that back in May, Uncle Pablo had dodged a meeting he was supposed to have with him.
Oh, Tio Lupe.
When the boss sends for you, you don't ignore it. So Chapo declared Pablo his enemy and decided to tap his phone and keep him under surveillance.
Damn.
Mia. Months later, Pablo's $6.5 million debt to Chapo went unpaid. Then, Peter and Junior's dad was kidnapped under incredibly suspicious circumstances and with a $6.5 million ransom demand. While Chapo couldn't confirm that Pablo was the kidnapper, he strongly suspected he was, and he ordered Peter and Junior not to pay the kidnappers 1 penny until he investigated.
Damn right, because he don't want he need them to pay him that money for whatever they got to pay him that money for. Don't go giving this money over here because I ain't waiting another day for my bread. All right, so don't give him nothing. Let me look into this. That's just me talking crazy.
Olivia. The kidnapper had to be Uncle Pablo. Goddamn Pablo, who'd taken Peter not even 7 fucking months before, had snatched his dad and his baby to pay back a $6.5 million debt he owed the Sinaloa cartel.
Wow.
That man would stop at nothing.
Mia. Chapo hadn't just ordered Junior and Peter not to pay a ransom. He'd also told us we should go back home and that he'd send someone to check on us. That person was his main sicario, or hitman, whose name was Rambo.
Y'all remember
Olivia.
Rambo? So Rambo was the character that was kind of Luca Brasi, I guess. Luca Brasi on that side, and she didn't like him, and one of my big complaints was she shouldn't have known that much about him. She skeeved him I guess for what she knew about him, you know what I'm saying? And I think she shouldn't have known that about him. And she would have had no reaction. He would have come off the same way he came off to everybody else that he was around under regular circumstances. They play the spy game for real. This PR Black, they play the spy game for real in Mexico. Tapping phones, tape recorders, trees, boiling water. They wilding out there.
When you're the most powerful man in Mexico, you're going to have some pretty ruthless people working for you. The most dangerous of all of them was Rambo. Rambo looked like he was in his late 40s or early 50s. He was stocky and light-skinned, with super short hair and a mustache. He was always on edge, very serious, especially about his operations. As I got to know him, I could tell he didn't really trust anyone because when a new person came around, he started to actually look like a hitman, like deadly serious. Yet around Peter and Junior, he'd crack jokes. Anyone felt comfortable around them.
Mia. A few days after Peter and Junior got home, Rambo showed up with a group of men. Peter led them to the back of our house, and Junior sent Olivia and me to pick up dinner for everyone. When we got back with the food, we walked into the kitchen, which was full of about 20 sicarios, dressed head to toe in military gear. Laid out neatly on the table were the kinds of weapons I'd only seen in movies. High-capacity automatic weapons, rounds of ammo, cartridges stacked up 10 high, and grenades.
They was ready for Tio Lupe. Tio Lupe, come get some. If you want to come get some, come get some. Wow.
Scattered on the island. The men looked like they were ready for battle, and it made me sick to my stomach. This is not who Peter and Junior are, I thought to myself.
You gotta get over that.
It's one thing for us to have security. They're there for protection. But it's another to see an army of assassins. I realized right then that the cartels were about way more than making money.
You didn't hear what they said they was going to do to that baby? Get it together, mama. Get it together.
They were about death and domination at all costs.
Olivia. But was that something you'd take personally? Apparently, never. While me and I were putting down the food, worried sick and slowly dying inside, Rambo turned to Peter. You know, one of my men kidnapped you in April. He's right over there. My gift to you. Rambo pointed to one of his sicarios and motioned for him to come over. The kidnapper started walking fast toward Peter, and I swear he couldn't have been more than 20. That well-dressed kid kidnapped my brother-in-law, I thought. Suddenly, Peter grabbed one of the guns off the table and pointed it at him. As the sicario froze, Mia gasped. Peter put his weapon down and began laughing. I'm just kidding, he said to his kidnapper. I know you were just doing your job. Then he took his hand and shook it. The kid gratefully hugged him, happy to still be breathing, while the entire room burst into laughter. I was shocked, but I stomached it. I don't know why someone would ever want to hug their kidnapper, but I realized it was in keeping with who Peter was. He could be upset one minute and totally forgiving the next.
I wonder how that would have changed things. It would have changed perception amongst the people around him, because they hadn't seen him in a violent encounter up to that point. So if he'd have pulled the trigger, it would have changed their idea of him. They would have known he'll go there. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's crazy. They always seem to end up in the room with the feds that arrested their wives, end up in the room with this guy, end up in the room with... This is like the Forrest Gump of smuggling and trafficking stories, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people involved in this.
I looked over at Mia, though, and she wasn't half as sympathetic. She had fire in her eyes. I thought to myself, seeing those 20 sicarios and their guns is horrifying to her. Worse than that, watching her husband hug his kidnapper is dredging up memories of the worst time in her life. I decided to do my best to console her. "These guys are professional hitmen, Mia," I said as I pulled her into a hug. "What he did to Peter wasn't personal." I know, she said, "but we can't be living like this." I paused and held her tighter. I think about that every day.
Mia. Soon after Olivia and I walked out of the house and pulled ourselves together, we learned from our husbands what was happening. Apparently, Chapo had discovered from his surveillance that Pablo was back in his hometown near San Juan. Around Christmas time, there were these big carnivals called ferias that went on for weeks. Entire families, whole towns would go out to them and drink and listen to music all night. Chapo was positive that Pablo would be there. The ferias were all about pride and showing how much money you were worth. If you were Uncle Pablo, it was the kind of event you'd never dream of missing.
Olivia. Still angry about Pablo skipping out on a meeting with him and eager to collect his debt, Chapo planned to send some sicarios to kidnap Pablo and his 2 sons right in front of everyone, right there at the ferias.
Eye for an eye.
Pablo was his enemy, and Chapo wanted to send him a clear message. Don't mess with the boss. The operation would be headed up by none other than Rambo. When Junior and Peter found out, they felt hurt and upset. Regardless of what Pablo had put them through, they never wished harm on anyone.
Come on, man.
His sons have nothing to do with it, they said. Rambo responded, "I'm just following orders from Señor."
Period.
Less than 3 days later, the operation was complete. Chapo's men snatched Pablo and his sons at the ferias, holding them hostage and doing God knows what to them.
Mia.
I mean, they had a couple of cases against them already. You know what I mean? You snatched up that kid over there, put a debt on him, put a debt on they put a tape recorder on you. I know you lying. I call you in, like they call Lefty from Donnie Brasco. I call you in, you don't show up. When they call you in, Donnie, you go. Call you in, you don't show up, and now you snatched up the old man. But you want to go gallivanting through the carnival? I'm coming for you, bro. And everybody that's with you.
We didn't hear anything for more than 10 days after that. The phone went silent, and we thought for sure that our father-in-law and his baby were both dead. Then the kidnapper, El Comandante, called. When Peter answered the phone, it was clear that the old man wasn't giving him orders anymore. The kidnapper was practically a pussycat. "I've heard so many great things about you, Mr. Flores," he said. "And I'm sorry this all happened."
No, you sorry that the old man that you mouthpiecing for got snatched up. That's what you're sorry for. PR Black said he had to do that. Lupe was playing with the money. Lupe was playing with everything. And with his own life and his kids' life.
"Because of that, we only want $2 million now. Give that to me and I'll let your father and his son go." Peter was furious. "Don't fuck with me. I'm not playing with you, so don't play with me. Bring my father and his son back now." He slammed down his phone so hard I thought he'd broken it. The kidnapper called right back. "I'll take $1 million, he said. Peter looked at Junior, and together they agreed. Even though Chapo gave them a direct order not to pay 1 penny, they had to do what was best for their family. After all, Chapo hadn't been thinking of them. He had his own agenda.
Absolutely.
"Please drop the money in the black Ford Explorer at the McDonald's on 54th and Pulaski." Peter paused with his mouth wide open. "In Chicago?"
Right.
"Yes." "Then you are working for Pablo. No one else would ask for a drop-off in our city." "Yes," the kidnapper said, ratting out Pablo without even a thought. Then things got weird when he continued.
But he has to know Pablo's duct taped.
"But I'm actually a Mexican federal agent, and this is my side job. I'd much rather work for you and your brother." Peter hung up. He didn't even give him the dignity of an answer. In his mind, kidnappers are the lowest of the low, the toilet scrubbers and garbage men for the cartels. They're just thieves. Yep. And thieves would never work for them. People in this world will do anything for position, I thought. It's more than about money. It's about selfish power.
Olivia. The day after Peter and Junior had the ransom dropped in Chicago, their dad and his little boy came home. It had been a brutally long 3 weeks, and every horrible minute showed on my father-in-law's face. When Junior first saw him, he didn't look much different than Peter had after his kidnapping. His hair was long and unwashed, and he was covered in bruises.
Yeah, I'd expect them to not take care of the old man the same way they didn't take care of P. Now, they're that kind of animal. What are they to babies? You know what I'm saying? I guess we're about to find out.
They never let me or the baby go hungry, he told us, and they never laid a finger on him. But that wasn't much relief. The little boy couldn't stop crying, and he'd been having nightmares. He would for a long, long time.
Mia. Peter and Junior never saw Pablo again. After Rambo kidnapped him and his sons, Pablo settled his debt to Chapo by signing over $10 million in properties. Rambo then released his sons, but under Chapo's order, he executed Pablo.
That's it.
The lesson was that no one disrespects the boss.
Chickens come home
ever.
To roost. Ever. And there it is. Chapter 15. Good episode. New information. Stuff that we didn't get in Surviving El Chapo. That's dope. That's why I wanted to do this series. That's why I wanted to get into this book. For those that are looking to purchase the book, there's a link in the description. You can purchase the book in any of its forms. Audiobook, paperback, hardcover, whatever. But that's that's why I wanted to do this book. Because they're touching on things that we didn't know about. It wasn't absolutely confirmed that he had the second family. Wasn't confirmed that he had got kidnapped, but I had heard those two things in the comments somewhere. Some people jumped the gun on me because, as y'all know, or as you should know, I'm here learning with you. You know what I'm saying? Except on the days that you're not here, I'm still here. Perfect attendance. So I kind of got all of the bits, but they're all jumbled in my head. But that was new information that he had two families. That he got kidnapped again by Lupe. And that was it. Lupe punched his card. Chapo had enough. Enough playing with the money. Enough playing with our time. You donezo. You donezo. Bananas. Crazy, crazy story. Pete had one of the guys that snatched him up right there, dead to rights. Dead to rights with a barrel to his dome. And he chose an abrazo. He chose a hug. Had a line, I guess. A line that they wouldn't cross. Because guess what? If Buddy was giving him the green light for that, he would have took it. I don't think they'd have judged him foul for it. Nah, they'd have gone back to Chapo and be like, Chapo, he blazed Shorty. Put him all the way down. You know? Women going through it with them. The wife, well, no punk, mouthed off to him. Didn't let him just show up when he wanted to, but always came back. So enabled him in that manner, in that way. Yeah, man. Hell of a story. Hell of a story. Tomorrow when we do Finnegan's Take, if we got enough time to get another episode of Cartel Wives in, we're gonna do that too. I'm gonna put up a poll tonight so y'all can let me know what's the best time for me to go live tomorrow. If later is better, if earlier is better, y'all let me know. Something else I wanted to show you before we go. If you go to let me stop this. Oh, we're live right there, so we're good. If you go to my channel page, multiple playlists. We got Cartel Wives, Surviving El Chapo, the twins that brought down a drug lord. And we got this crime. I want to hip y'all to this crime doc reactions. There's a lot of crazy stories in here. They're not necessarily cartel stories, but they're dope. They're all basically recent from the last, I don't know, 4 months. But they're not getting no play. But I know you guys are here to mess with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm all over these, giving it how I give it when it comes to the cartel talk, giving it the same way when it comes to dumb criminals, bad cops, and crazy scenarios, interrogations, all of the above. We got 80 videos in there. It's a fairly new playlist. It's not a year old. It's probably not 6 months old. And it's here. I'm gonna clip this. I'm gonna put this playlist in the chat right now. Let me see. I'll put this playlist in the chat right now. Come on, man. Can I share it? I want to share the whole playlist. You would think I'm brand new to YouTube right now, huh? This is going to share the video and go back to the playlist. I don't got the little things here. All right, I'll figure that out when I get out of here. But anyways, I want to hip y'all to that playlist because I want y'all to check that out. For those that are interested in the Life and Death of Zach TV 1, we got that playlist too. And we also have the Finnegan's Take playlist that just started. We're only, 2 episodes deep. We're one paperwork party and the premiere episode we're in. But Surviving El Chapo, 54 episodes. Cartel Wives, so far 11. Add this one, this is 12. And we got 88 episodes of Size Crime doc reactions. So check those out when you get a chance. I'd appreciate it. And that's pretty much it, man. I thank you guys for being here. I hope you had a good experience. If you could throw those hundreds in the chat, if you could hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. Let me see what we got here. Subscriptions. Thank y'all for being here. I'll go back to the chat over here. Let's see who we had. Salute to JP the Ghost. He was first. Old Soul. Think Like a Kingpin. PR Black. Ariza. Julio Cardenas. Adrian Torres. Felix Reyes. Again, Old Soul, of course. JP the Ghost on the salutes. Appreciate y'all. And I'm trying to grab this. My videos. Let me see. This is crazy. Raven Jefferson on the check-in retracted his statement. I don't know what it said. Still trying to tag this playlist. The playlist itself. Content. Playlists. Here we go. Here we go. Shareable link. Got it. Finally got it. Wow, there it is. There's the playlist. I will pin that to the top. Let me see what I could play on the way out of here. Again, thank you guys. If you have yet to subscribe to the channel, please do hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you can know when we go live. I react. I call cap. I look for the truth. I look for interesting stories that people want to hear about, and that's how we do. The link is in the chat. Appreciate y'all for that. And see if I got another video here. Maybe not a video, but a song. Also, if you're looking for my music, maybe I can link this right here too.
Adobe Express Desktop just came out with a ton of new features, and if you're a content creator, you need to listen up. Adobe Express is offering...
Let's see what else we got here. That might be too crazy for right now. I don't know. That might be it, though. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do that. That's quick. All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe out there. And I will see y'all tomorrow for Cartel Wives and Finnegan's Take. I will be here tomorrow, barring anything, any problems. If I have any problems, if I'm mad sick, which I doubt, I'll let y'all know in the community section. Appreciate it. Here we go.
The ticket's still going, the whip is still gassed up, the heat is still loaded. Safety switch off though, cause I don't just hold it. It's all about survival now and nothing here is holy. Every man for himself and the family member he holding. Pick the fruit from the vine and the government said he stole it. See the truth over time, it'll feel like you fucking wrote it. Put the pen to the future in hopes that you can unfold it. Your space and time stolen, and no one's seen the omens. Armageddon from heaven, it seems hell is overflowing. Money is an illusion and Lady Liberty hoeing. Somebody offer me paradise, I don't think that I'm going. This is a broken promised land, all of the people choking. They reach for the blood puddle with someone they love soaking. It hurts and the wounds open, I shake but I'm still focused. I wade through these fucking locusts, each wave and just keep holding. War drums banging, the last limbs hanging from the center of the planet where the bomb just landed. The whole shit shattered here, no one understands it here. Mushroom cloud breakthrough, crashing through the atmosphere. Shock on the face of the moon, this universe never